Hi everybody, I'm Jerry Ford and welcome to my studio and welcome to the July 2024 edition of the Mug Rug of the Month Club. This is a really cute design. It's used with mylar to give it a little bit of bling without actually using metallic thread. If you would like a copy of this PES embroidery design, send an email request to me at waltzquilt@yahoo.com. I'll be happy to send it to you. Also, if you would like to become a member of our free Mug Rug of the Month Club, send me an email, same place, waltzquilt@yahoo.com, and I'll be happy to add you to the mailing list. So let's get started. You're going to need your 5x7 hoop or larger. You're going to need some wash away stabilizer. You're going to need some white background fabric, enough to cover both the front and back of the mug rug. You're going to need some either cotton batting or Insulbrite or some kind of batting that you want to use. We're also going to use some silver mylar. And if you can't find it in your stores, you can always find those mylar balloons that you buy for birthdays and whatnot at the dollar store. Get any of them because the insides of those balloons are silver. So you can use that. It's just regular silver mylar. You're going to want to have red and blue thread, and I've decided the outside border of my mug rug is going to be blue, so I want a bobbin to match the blue that I'm going to use on the outside. It helps to have a nice sharp pair of embroidery scissors. Curved works really well, or straight. For this one it doesn't matter. And you're also going to want to have some T-pins. This is going to help hold this stabilizer in here so it doesn't shift around, because this is, when you only have one layer, it tends to want to shift around. So what you're going to need to do is take T-pins, and I like T-pins because this part doesn't stick over the hoop so it can get caught in the machine, but this is going to hold that stabilizer down really well. And you just put them along the long edges, and sometimes they get a little stubborn, but if you just tilt them a little bit, they'll go right in. Okay, and that helps hold it straight. You're going to put those all the way around the perimeter. And of course, you're going to need your embroidery machine and the PES embroidery file. Okay, I have loaded my design into the machine, so I'm going to select it and hit set. I put blue thread into the needle. The first thing I'm going to stitch is the outline showing where to place the batting. I want to make sure all of the stitching is covered with the piece of batting, and I'm going to do the second outline stitch. Now it helps to have a nice pair of sharp scissors in order to trim away this excess batting. It's easier to do this when you take the hoop off the machine. Here's a tip for you. When you haven't gotten it close enough that you like, what you want to do is take it out of the machine and push your finger, if you can see underneath there, push your finger up toward the bottom of the applique, and then just put your scissor close to it. That allows you to get closer. I'm going to put a piece of white fabric over top so that it covers all of the stitching, and want to make sure it's covering everything. This is color stop number 3, which is going to seal down the white fabric. You do not need to trim this at this time. I am on color stop number 4, and I'm going to just lay down I'm just going to put the mylar on top of the stitching. Just sort of hold it down a little bit until it catches. Now I'm going to switch the thread to blue. I'm on color stop number 6 here because we're going to go ahead and pull away the excess mylar from outside the edges. This is going to do the outline stitch around the edges of the inner star. And now with the red in order to seal in the edges of the mylar. I'm going to finish this off camera. Okay, it finished stitching this outline right here. Okay, now I'm going to change the thread to blue, and I'm going to put in the blue bobbin as well. I'm putting a piece of white fabric on the back of the hoop so that it covers all of this stitching. A lot of times I like to use these pins just to start it, okay? Just to hold it in place while I flip it around. I really only need it to do one place here. Okay, now I'll come over here because this is where it wants to stick. So I'm just putting that like that. Move this pin to the front. I'm not going to stitch with these, don't worry. Okay, I'm going to put this back into the machine. I've got blue thread in the bobbin and blue thread into the needle. I'm going to remove these pins because this is just, or you could just float it underneath. I mean, you just lift it up and float it. That will be fine too. So now this is going to tack down the back of the mug rug. Okay, now I'm going to remove the hoop from the machine and I'm going to cut all of the external layers of fabric, both front and back. If you haven't already cut the batting, this is also a time you're going to want to cut everything close to this line right here. And I'm going to do that off camera. Okay, now I've got the blue in the bobbin as well as in the needle, and I'm going to stitch this final outline stitch because notice I have already stitched the excess fabric from around the edges on both the front and the back, and now it's going to create a standalone patch type stitch. But this is actually going to seal in the edges, and then we'll be done with our mug rug. Again, this is going to take a while, so I'm going to go ahead and stitch this off camera. Okay, it's all finished now, so I'm going to remove the hoop from the machine. Okay, this is all finished. So now we're ready to remove it from the hoop, and an easy way to do that is just take a nice sharp seam ripper and just go close. Okay, I said a sharp seam ripper, and this isn't one. Here we go. That one's not really sharp, but it looks like I need some new ones, huh? Okay, so I'm just going to cut these close. Okay, I've cut it as close, but I'm still having these little wispies behind. Here's a way to get things off the edge. You just take a Q-tip that's damp or wet. And I'll just do one side here and wet it. See how it dissolves? It's just melted into the fibers. Now, that would be fine if this is a display piece. The problem with this method is, yes, it does clean it up nice and cleanly. The other way is to simply dip this in cold water, clear cold water, let it dry flat. If you need to press it, then turn it around on the other side and give it a light press with low heat. The problem with just doing the edges is that if you use this for cold lemonade on a hot summer's day, the condensation is going to seep into the stabilizer and cause this to shrivel up, and that's not going to look pretty. So the best thing to do is just simply to soak it and let it soak for 5 minutes or so. Shouldn't take any longer than that. Let it dry, press it, and now it's done. This took about 18 minutes to stitch out on my machine, but you can make really nice mug rugs for your 4th of July picnic. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. If you would like a copy of this design in PES format, then send me an email request at waltzquilt@yahoo.com and I'll be happy to send it to you along with the written instructions. If you would like to become a member of our Mug Rug of the Month Club, also send me an email at waltzquilt@yahoo.com and I'll be happy to add you to the mailing list so you can reach all of our subsequent mug rugs. Have a great weekend and happy 4th of July. Bye.